Welcome to What's Math. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. This video will focus on graphing linear equations. Step 1. Isolate y if necessary. The whole goal is for it to be in slope-intercept form where y is by itself so I can easily locate the y-intercept and the slope. The first thing you want to do is to take the y-intercept and you want to put it on your y-axis. So your y-intercept is your first point on the y-axis. The second thing, you want to locate the slope, which will be the coefficient of x, and that will tell you your movement from your first point, your y-intercept. If the slope is negative, put the negative in the top or the bottom. Only one of them can be negatives. Either you make the denominator negative or the numerator negative. It's your choice. Both can be negative because then you have a negative divided by a negative, which will equal to a positive fraction. And the slope is negative, so you have to make sure that it's only one of them gets a negative sign. If the top is positive, then that means you go up, but if it's negative, you need to go down. If the denominator is positive, then you go to the right, but if it's negative, you go to the left. Example, graph y equals negative 4 over 5x plus 3. Let's put back the rules so we can pay attention to those rules while we follow along with the example. The first thing I want to do is to locate the y-intercept, and in this case, the y-intercept is positive 3, and it should go straight to your y-axis. So it's your first point on your y-axis. Second, I want to locate the slope, which is a coefficient of x. And since it's a negative slope, only one of them should take the negative sign. And I'm going to put my negative sign in the numerator. So therefore, the numerator is negative, but the denominator is positive. So what does this mean? The top is negative, so that means I'm going down 4 units. And the bottom is positive, so I'm going to the right 5 units. And all this movement takes place from their first point on the y-axis, which is positive 3. So I'm going to go down 4 units. Then I'm going to go to the right 5 units. And then I'm going to place a point. Then you want to use a straight edge. Doesn't have to be a ruler, as long as it's a straight edge. And you draw a line through the 2 points. And that's how you graph a linear equation. Example. Graph 9x minus 3y equals 12. This is going to be the first of the 2 ways I'm going to show you. So the first thing I want to do is to isolate the y. And if I'm isolating the y, that means I need to move that 9x. The opposite of 9x is to subtract 9x from both sides. Negative 3y equals negative 9x plus 12. The y is not completely isolated, so therefore I'm going to get rid of that negative 3, and it's next to the y, which means multiplication. So the opposite would be division. So divide everything by negative 3. So now we have y equals positive 3x minus 4. Because negative 9 divided by negative 3 is a positive 3. And a positive 12 divided by negative 3 is a negative 4. Now that we have it in slope-intercept form, we can first locate the y-intercept, which is negative 4. And that negative 4 needs to go straight to the y-axis. Secondly, we need to locate the slope. And in this case, the slope is 3. But remember, slope is rise over run, and every integer written as a fraction is over 1. So therefore, the slope is going to be 3 over 1. The top is positive, that means go up. The bottom is positive, so that means go to the right. So what does it mean overall? 3 units up and 1 to the right. So from your y-intercept, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go 1 to the right. And that's when I'm going to place my next point. You're going to use a straight edge. It doesn't have to be a ruler as long as it's a straight edge. And you draw a line straight through both points. Way 2. I'm going to give you a little trick which is a little bit quicker if you can remember both formulas. Now, the first number in front of the x, which is the coefficient, is a, and the coefficient of y is b, and the constant after the equal sign is the letter c. B is always going to equal to c divided by b. And if you take a good look, in this case, c was 12 and b is negative 3. So it's 12 divided by negative 3, which is negative 4. So my b, which is the y-intercept, is negative 4. And that negative 4 needs to go straight to the y-axis. Second, we need to locate the slope. Your slope will always be a over the opposite of b. A is 9, so we have the 9. B is negative 3. The opposite of negative 3 is 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Remember, it needed to be in the fraction form, and any integer as a fraction is just over itself over 1. And what does that mean? It means 3 up and 1 to the right. So from our y-intercept, we need to go up 3 units and then 1 to the right. And then we're going to place our point. You're going to use a straight edge and you're going to draw a line straight through those 2 points. Now let's check for understanding. Please graph the following equations. First, we wanted to locate the y-intercept. And in this case, it's positive 5, which goes straight to the y-axis. Our slope is negative 7 over 4. I'm going to put my negative in the top because only one of them can be negative. And what does that mean? It's negative in the top. That means I'm going down, and it's positive in the bottom, so I'm going to the right. So it means 7 down and 4 to the right. And this will take place from your y-intercept. So I'm going to go down 7 and then 4 to the right. Place my point. Use a straight edge and draw a line through the 2 points. Graph 3x minus 5y equals 10. I'm going to use the second method I taught in the video early on, where b is equal to c over b. So it's going to be 10 divided by negative 5, which is equal to negative 2. And that would be your y-intercept, which goes straight to your y-axis. M is always going to be a over the opposite of b. So it's equal to 3 over 5 because it was a negative 5, which becomes a positive 5. And what does that mean? Both of them are positive. The top is positive, so that means I'm going up 3. The bottom is positive, so I'm going to the right 5 units. So from your y-intercept, and place a point, use your straight edge, and that's your solution. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my channel. If you like what you see, feel free to buy me a coffee. It's not mandatory. Have a nice one.